Good day, dear students. Welcome to the introduction to the philosophy of the human person. Hello mga kasangga! Kumusta? I hope you're all doing well and doing good as I have so many things in store for you. So before we formally begin with our new lesson today, particularly with exploring man's embodiment, according to Gabriel Marcel with the part 1 and 2, allow me first to introduce to you the learning objectives that you should be able to learn after this lesson. So our first objective is explain the insight of Gabriel Marcel on the composition of men, and the second one is to explain also the insight of Gabriel Marcel on the life of an embodied spirit. To formally start, let's now begin with the next slide. So, who is Gabriel Marcel? So, Gabriel Marcel is one of the philosophers, of course, and according to him, man's experiences of himself shows that there exists an intimate relation between himself and his body which accepts neither gap nor barrier. Okay? And of course, in addition to that, there is no gap between man and his body. That is, there is nothing that stands between him and his body. Meaning to say, the man and his body are literally and figuratively connected to each other, wherein there's no form of walls that breaks the connection of man and his body. They're all connected to each other. Okay, so aside from this one, we also have this Gabriel Marcel's perspective. Okay, he also emphasized that this experience of man, of himself, is manifested by the fact that wherever he goes, there is his body. Moreover, he described himself. He described himself, and of course, aside from that, he also described himself through his body. Okay, again, when he describes himself through his body. And aside from that, and to really understand about this one, let's start with the first sentence. With the first sentence, if we will try to look into a deeper context about this first sentence, the first statement of Gabriel Marcel, through the body of man, he is being able to do whatever he wants, whatever he wants to experience in life. He goes to the mall, maybe he goes to the mall, to the park, or to a room, and of course, there is his body. Likewise, whatever he does, his body is with him. He eats like he eats, the way he eats, he works, sleeps, or dances, and undeniably his body is with him. And of course, aside from that, let's now proceed with the next sentence. Sabi dito, moreover, when he describes himself through his body. This means that we are being able to be more aware and or mindful to describe ourselves through our body, which is also literally correct in our real life, because we are more knowledgeable to describe our wholeness of ourselves because that is our own body and not the body of the others. As a matter of fact, Gabriel Marcel narrated that the attributes of his body, like tall, handsome, with a dimple, and others, conformably his experience of himself discloses that he is with his body. And that has something to do with the statements of Gabriel Marcel with this slide. Okay? So aside from this slide, of course, we also have the other perspective and the other viewpoints of Gabriel Marcel. So let's proceed to the next slide. Okay? Furthermore, Gabriel Marcel emphasized that the man's experience of himself as an owner of the body. And to be more specific about this idea, let's proceed with the next slide. Okay. So according to Gabriel Marcel, man's experience also shows that he is not simply a body. That is, he is a mind and will too. Here, a man's experience of himself shows that a man is not his body, rather he has a body. Man owns a body, and of course, he possesses a body. Okay. And of course, if we will try to look into a broader context or into a different context about this one, of course, there's a huge probability that the main interpretation about this idea is that the body of a man has its always purpose. There's the reason why we have our bodies. Since we have our own bodies, okay, we cannot really deny the fact that we are also the owner of our own bodies, wherein we can initiate something for ourselves because our body has also mind and will too. The mind and our will also serve as the controller of our body. It also guides us, and of course it also guides us to experience whatever we want in life. However, we should be more responsible for using our bodies, because every action that we do with our bodies in life has also consequences. Okay. And of course, and that is one of the idea of Gabriel Marcel. Okay, so aside from this slide, we also have this next one. Okay, which pertains about the man's ownership of his body. And of course, in order to be more knowledgeable about this one, let's now proceed with the next slide. And okay, and so of course, to know about this line, man's ownership of his body. Okay, be to say, based on our last one here. So, man's ownership of his body is, in a way, the same as his ownership of his dog. Marcel said that both imply owning. He owns his body and he owns his dog, right? And of course, no one owns his body and his dog except him. And of course, he solely owns his body and his dog. Since he owns his body and his dog, then he can command them, right? And of course, we cannot really deny the fact that he can command his body to sleep and he can command his dog to sit, something like that. Man, therefore, has authority over them. Moreover, since he owns and has authority over his body, and his dog, then he is responsible for them. He is responsible for their subsistence, okay? And of course, he has also to feed them. And aside from that, he also has to take care of them. Then aside from this idea of Gabriel Marcel, we also have this next slide. In addition to the statement, in addition to the perspectives or to the philosophy or the principle of Gabriel Marcel, according to him, the similarity between man's owning his body and his owning his dog is only up to the point mentioned. Substantially, his owning his body is different from his owning his dog, something like that. Okay? Therefore, despite the fact that he owns his body, man does not truly own in it the same sense that he does his dog. Because he does not view his body as an object. He also does not own in it the same sense that he owns his dog. And of course, his body is not viewed by him as one of the many objects in all that exists. He instead views his body as an extension of himself as a subject, okay? And of course, aside from that, a man typically asserts that his physical appearance is who he is. And that has something to do with the idea of the Gabriel Marcel about this statement, okay? And aside from this one, let's now proceed with the next slide, okay, which pertains about the exploring man's embodiment, okay, of Gabriel Marcel, which is the part 2, okay? So the part 2 is, so our part 2 with this one, which we may also just talk about these two, okay, principles, okay, with this two philosophy, okay. According to Gabriel Marcel, okay, man as an embodied spirit, and of course he also pertain about the life of an embodied spirit. Okay, and to be more specific about this one, let's now talk about its ideas, okay? And of course, that's now okay. Click this next slide. Okay. So base here, okay, in our slide, okay, in our lesson, okay, according to Gabriel Marcel, man as an embodied spirit. So let's allow me first to read. Okay, Gabriel Marcel said, "I am my body, so, and so far as I succeed in recognizing that this body of mine cannot, in the last analysis, be brought down to the level of being this an object or something or another, something like that." So with the interpretation of Gabriel Marcel, okay, he believed that man does not perceive himself as having a body, a soul, or even both of them, something like that. And of course, he viewed himself as being made evident through his physical form. He views his physical form as the embodiment of himself. Okay, as a result, according to Marcel, man is an embodied spirit. And it has something to do with the man as embodied spirit, according to Gabriel Marcel. Now, aside from this one, we also have this next slide. Okay, I think this is the last slide, okay, of our lesson. So, according to Gabriel Marcel, particularly with the life of an embodied spirit. So, allow me first to zoom in first this one. Okay. Okay. So, ayan, as an embodied spirit, man experiences himself as being in the world. His body acts as an intermediary between himself and the world. Because of his body, he experiences that he is in the world. And also, okay, aside from that, okay, he also experiences that the chair he is sitting on is hard, and the sunset is as red as a rose. The effects of liquor is an empty stomach is strong. More so, he has experience of near and far, up and down, or even hot and cold. So, in addition for this one, for this statement or for this principle of Gabriel Marcel, okay, he believed that he believes that the body of a man can be viewed as a way to make us more mindful and be able to feel that we belong in this world due to the various things that we experience in life. Our bodies can also be served as the source of our experiences. Therefore, we will not be able to live a more meaningful life or experience anything in this world without utilizing our bodies, according to Gabriel Marcel. Okay, so aside from that, of course, we also have this, and we also have this last statement of Gabriel Marcel. According to him, because of his body, according to Gabriel Marcel, okay, he realized, okay, that the world is separate from him. The world is not him. Thus, okay, he understands that he is not a thing among other things, and that he's the one seeing the world. And of course, if you will try to take a closer look about this one, this indicates that he is the one who gives the world purpose. Okay, the man is the one who gives the world's purpose. Without him, the world has no purpose. Without him, the world has no purpose. He consequently realized that, metaphorically speaking, he is a being outside of the world, and that he is not a being of the world because of his body. Therefore, because of our body, we'll be able to interpret, or it will be able to conclude that we will be able to conclude that a man can be existed in this world through his body, something like that. And it has something to do with the life of an embodied spirit, okay, according to Gabriel Marcel. Now, aside from this one, I just want to add this last additional principle of Gabriel Marcel. With this one, as an embodied spirit, he realized that he is with other men. His body in this case acts as his intermediary between others and himself. This means that the way he presents himself to others through his body is the same way that they present themselves to him. His physical attributes enable connection and relationship with others as well as with him. And that is one of the essence of having the life of an embodied spirit according to Gabriel Marcel. Okay, so that ends our lesson for today. Should you have concerns or questions, feel free to approach me via Messenger. And of course, for more videos, don't forget to click the notification bell and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye. Bye everyone. Bye.